my chest could be a heart or a helipad. Heavy lifting, trying to tell you what I couldn't tell my dad. Take a lap, take a nap, face the fact I'm failing fast. When doubt is deadly, he can make a coffin, put the nail in last. Gotta build his task, cannot prevail the blast. Chopped it with Davey, we found crazy days, unveiled the mask. Something tells me even though it's testy, still gon' pass. And I know that there's a freedom jealous to the cash. Ain't no copy pasting, this is real. You must have known that I would make it here. You say my steps, I order through the door, you dashing. When I'm holding, crashing, you don't know captain. Rescue is your habit. Put fire in this believer, like an imagined dragon.
Tell me that you're rushing, that I'm urgent, that you care. Tell me that you're coming, you're not searching, but you're here. I don't need much, come right away, come right away, come right away. Can I have your love, come right away, come right away, come right away.
How I get this far, clouds and turning stars. How I get this dark, shame to grip my heart, wheezing while I'm breathing, not believing while believing. War inside of me, yeah, you're on the side of me. Are we playing hide and seek? 911, obviously, and I'm hopeless, honestly. And I know it's time to leave. In your arms I'm trying to be, and your love you promised me. Yeah, my lies got me moonwalking unconsciously. Am I worthy of your rescue mission? Cause if it was up to me, I'll be right here sitting. I know you're not waiting. I'm a broke mess, that's what I am saying. And I can't say me cause I've been trying this, drive me crazy. You're that empty cross that you came for me, and not trusting that, so you can't leave. So
tell me that you're rushing, that I'm urgent, that you care. Tell me that you're coming, you're not searching, but you're here. I don't need much, come right away, come right away, come right away. Can I have your love, come right away, come right away.
Might be the darkest
that I have ever seen. It's the nighttime, I'm the furthest. Can you shine your love on me?
And I know that you are closer, no matter how I feel. You broke into my mess to show me that you love me still. Ooh, oh yeah.
Tell me that you're rushing, that I'm urgent, that you care. Tell me that you're coming, you're not searching, but you're here. I don't need much, come right away, come right away, come right away. Can I have your love, come right away, come right away, come right away.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Dynasty Show. As always, I'm Zach. We have Javon with us, Jay, and today we have our very special guest making a special appearance for us, Ethan. He found time in his busy life and his busy schedule to come join in on the episode today. So we figured we've got him. We want to kick things off though. As you guys probably heard on the beginning of the show here, there was this beautiful song. And we just want to kick things off with a little shout out to Travis. Who else was it, guys? It was Travis,
August, Davey, Aspa, and the girl on the hook was Janae Zach.
Shout out to all of them. They make beautiful music. You can check out that song.
I love this song.
On YouTube. I think it's on other streaming platforms too. Go check it out. Go give them a listen. They're pretty dope. So with that being said, let's kick things off.
Hold on, we didn't even tell the name of the song. The name of the song was Urgent 2.
Urgent 2.
Did you just tell me something real quick, Zach, that you liked about it? Did you like it?
My favorite part of it, I really liked how I really liked the hook, like with the girl singing, because it really changed up the whole flow of the song. Like it was like you were like, oh whoa, wait, and then it's like she just starts singing, and it was beautiful. It was good. I liked it.
My piece on it, it touched my heart. I ain't gonna lie, it touched my heart when I first heard it. I like the guy. Both of the guys was they rap very well, but I like the second guy. I'm assuming that was Davey. But the second guy, I like what he said in his words. But yeah, check them guys out. Shout outs to y'all. I'm Urgent Pt.2. Check it out, guys.
Yep. All right. So with that said, let's kick the show off. So as everyone is aware, if you live under unless you live under a rock, Kansas won the national championship for for March Madness. As you know, I said Kansas was going to win it all because they were the best defensive team left in the tournament. So yeah,
but hey,
they were. I mean, they were the best defensive team. Them and UNC were probably the two best defensive teams left in the tournament, and that's why they got to the championship game. And
I don't
but
even
I
want to
mean,
show my face.
Kansas was down a lot of that game too.
Yeah, I spoke too early when I started talking noise, and I said Kansas sucks, and then as soon as I said Kansas sucks, Kansas came back.
Kansas made
So
that comeback.
I will say,
man.
I will say, I think UNC really impressed me in a lot of ways. Baycott, I mean, he fought till the last second, even with that bad ankle sprain. I mean, I think Baycott rolls his ankle. I don't know if McCormick makes that. I don't know. I don't think McCormick makes that final shot to put him up by 3.
Yeah.
I think Baycott on the court guarding him versus Manic is a huge difference, and I think that was a huge fall off. But also Puff Johnson. I mean, for a guy who didn't really play much all season, averaging 4 points, he really balled out to the point where he literally threw up on the court from working so hard. So I just like to see players playing that hard,
Passion.
and then it's exactly what you want to see in a championship game.
Oh yeah, it was a great championship game.
It was a beautiful championship game.
Honestly, that's what I expected from a championship game. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't like the results, but I enjoyed the game.
I didn't like the championship game because Duke wasn't there. I mean, it was. Oh, North Carolina. I mean, ACC represented, but still, it was a rival of Duke. So it's like,
It's really a rivalry. Every time I see UNC and Duke, UNC always goes on top.
Yeah, usually. So it seems like, especially recently.
Coach K, as great as he is, he don't know how to coach against UNC.
But I will say this: shout out to Hubert Davis, though. His first year coaching, making it to the championship. Shout out to Hubert Davis.
Oh yeah,
he's a good coach. He's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
Yes, he is.
And
you got that team. They went all the way to the final. No one expected them. They were an 8 seed in the tournament.
Yeah.
UNC. Yeah.
I knew they were going to be some dark horses because as soon as the bracket came out and I saw them at the 8, I felt like that was kind of low. Maybe not like standings wise, like maybe, an 8 seed was accurate for standings, but the team in general, I felt like an 8 seed was super low just given the UNC team, because at the beginning of the tournament, I was like picking my teams. I was like, UNC could either go out here and be the best team, or if they show up on the wrong day, they're the worst team in the tournament. And they showed up game in every night. They showed up. I knew they were going to beat Baylor. I called that game, but I didn't think they'd make it to the championship. But yeah, shout out to them. Caleb Love really impressed me in the Elite 8 and the Final 4.
Yeah.
But that finals game in that fourth quarter, I didn't see Caleb Love show up.
Yeah, no, and he didn't. I mean, but I also think that's, it's not necessarily an excuse, but I think age shows and inexperience shows. That's a big stage to be on, dude. You are in a football stadium.
It showed with
hundreds.
It showed with Duke. It showed with Duke too. Yeah. The inexperience, it showed with them.
Yeah, dude, those big games get to you because even at the beginning of the UNC Kansas game, like UNC just looked like shocked. they weren't making their shots. They were rushing things. Caleb Love was driving to the hoop, trying to throw up these crazy layups and getting blocked every time. They looked terrified, and they settled in, and they got into their groove. And
that's the problem. They did all that too late.
They didn't get into their groove too late. They lost their groove too early.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're too comfortable. When you have a big lead like that and you blow it, your body too comfortable. Once in that mind, you're comfortable. Your body becomes comfortable. Then they weren't.
Yeah, because you're just like, oh, we're up by 20. You know, we got this. So you kind of take your foot off the gas a little, and
true enough.
You know, you let your opponent back into.
True enough, but basketball is still a game of runs, though.
Did you see when Baycott rolled his ankle? Did you ever? I don't know if you guys saw like the close up. There was a loose floorboard that he stepped on. If you go back and look at it, you literally like watch him step, and then the floor caves in, and then that resulted in his ankle sprain, dude. The exact same ankle. That's so rough, man.
Yeah.
Like that's just.
Yeah.
You hate to see that, dude.
It's an unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, shout out to Kansas. I obviously live like an hour away from the University of Missouri, so I've grown up with the we hate Kansas mentality. So, you know, I'm not going to necessarily say here and say I'm happy that they won, but
Are you really happy they won?
I know. I said I'm not happy they won.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm just happy that it was a good game.
Yeah.
I didn't have Kansas making it to my Elite Eight, so
there you go.
I had them going to the Final Four.
I didn't think Baylor. I thought
the best. One of the best teams.
I thought Baylor and Kansas were by far the two worst 1 seeds in the tournament.
Yeah.
Baylor
over Gonzaga.
Yeah. I don't think I want to talk about Baylor right now.
I thought Baylor and Kansas were the two worst 1 seeds in the tournament.
Well, Kansas proved to be the best 1 seed.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works out. Welcome to March Madness, dude. We had a 15 seed go to the Elite Eight for the first time ever. It's a wild circumstance, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my champion lost in the first round, so.
Yeah, so now that the tournament is over, and Kansas won and it's all said and done, yeah, I guess we got to look forward to now the NBA draft, where they go. So that'll be exciting, and see them on the future level, and then see next year. And yeah. So as everyone is aware, I don't know if you watched the Oscars or not. I don't, but you couldn't help but hear about it. You probably saw it if you opened your social media. You probably saw copious amounts of memes just of Will Smith and the slap on Chris Rock. You know. Man, I don't know. I thought it was a whole. I don't know. I personally didn't care for it. Like I was just like, whatever, it happens.
Who do you guys think is in the wrong in this situation, though?
Chris.
Who?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said Chris Rock. My fault. Will Smith. I was just thinking about Chris Rock in my head.
I think they're both in the wrong.
I didn't. He was in the wrong in this.
Here's our point. Here's my point to this, right? And you don't necessarily see it in like these like movie star music kind of award shows, but as sports fans, we all watch the NBA awards, the NFL awards, everything like that, right? How do they start off every single one of those? They always sit there and they bash the players, right? And sometimes they dig deep. Like Peyton Manning, that year that Kevin Durant left the Thunder for the Warriors, bashed Kevin Durant, making fun of him for leaving, joining the powerhouse, whatever. You know, I just think, you know, I personally feel like that Will Smith was like extremely in the wrong there, because, you know, you could have easily just been like, that's funny. And even if it is a sensitive subject, you don't walk onto the stage in the middle of a crazy award show and slap the host, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just I looked at it differently because
right.
I saw a funny meme though, and it said I probably didn't know that I wouldn't have known the Oscars happened if Will Smith didn't slap Chris Rock, and I was like, that's kind of the same boat I'm in. I didn't know the Oscars happened.
Hey, I was the same way. You
Yeah.
know,
I knew it was
for,
happening. I didn't know it was happening that night.
yeah, for me, I gotta agree with E. That was Will Smith doing because honestly, when I first heard about it, I thought Chris Rock like really said something bad, But I mean, for me, when I heard what he said, he didn't really say nothing directly, like, oh, Jada, said something bad about her. He was just basically saying, good luck in the movie, the upcoming movie or whatever. So to me, I don't know. It didn't warrant you going up there and slapping the man,
I will
it looked
say,
staged and fake at first, but I mean, it didn't warrant all of that. So I think I think Will Smith was in the wrong in this situation.
I think they were both in the wrong. I think that the joke was a little distasteful from Chris Rock, especially knowing that she has alopecia. And then I just think I don't know. I think Will Smith didn't need to slap him or anything like that. I mean, especially because he laughed at first. Like Will Smith actually laughed at
He
the
did.
joke.
Yeah, he was enjoying the joke.
He laughed at the joke first.
If you watched him walk up there, it looked like he had a smirk on his face after he smacked him because he just smacked him like this and then just walked back.
That was such an actor slap too. I don't know. I also think it's a publicity stunt too because immediately afterwards,
a lot of people were saying that.
Immediately after that, Chris Rock's show sold out.
Yep.
I thought it was fake at first because then lost my train of thought. I thought it was fake at first because it looked like a publicity stunt because if you watch the slap happen, like Chris Rock literally puts his hands behind his back and it almost looks like he sticks his face out like he's planning on it. But then all this stuff happened where Will Smith got kicked out of the academy and was getting serious. Was getting
they got to sell it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it don't matter now because all his projects are being put on hold right now.
I don't see someone getting kicked out of the academy for a publicity stunt though. That's my only thing.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
If they knew it was a publicity stunt, they would have just been we're gonna suspend Will Smith or we're gonna blah blah blah, make it sound real. I don't think you kick someone out for something that you knew was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I feel you. All right. So now let's kick off my favorite segment of the show and the only part of the show that. What?
Not my favorite.
Not your favorite? No, this is gonna be hard for Jabo.
Not my favorite.
This is gonna be hard for Jabo, but this is gonna be my favorite part of this episode. I really didn't care for the slap, and we talked about the song or whatever. But yeah, so we got a nice little treat for y'all. We got a little we made up a little hip hop bracket for y'all, and we're gonna discuss it. We got some matchups laid out.
Because we had some March Madness, we had to get some.
And themes of March Madness, so we're gonna do that. So we're just gonna we're gonna talk about that, go over the matchups, and then we're gonna do a little vote to decide who.
First of all, we're going with creativity, lyricists, best lyricists. I want y'all to judge off of lyricists, creativity, longevity, and what they've done as a whole.
Impact.
Yeah, the whole
Impact,
catalog, the whole package.
That's how we're judging, guys. That's how we're judging. All right. So first,
remember you said.
Okay. Okay. All right. First of all, we got first I'm gonna tell y'all it's 16. We're gonna start at the Sweet 16. We got Big versus Pac. We got T.I. versus Luda. We got DMX versus Chief Keef. We got Tory Lanez versus Mr. Drake.
Toronto v. Toronto.
Yes, sir. The 6. J.Cole versus Joyner.
Ooh.
Lil Wayne versus Eminem.
Oh.
Kanye versus Kendrick Lamar. And we got Jay-Z and Nas to round it out. So guys,
This is gonna be
we're gonna start off with
this.
Big and Pac.
This
Big
is
and
gonna
Pac.
be my worst. This is gonna be my worst segment ever. I don't
Big and
really
Pac.
listen. I
It's
don't really
fine.
listen to hip hop.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Give it your best effort. All right.
Ah.
So Big and Pac. So who wants to start? Who wants to kick this off?
Easy.
I'm gonna.
Listen.
I'll
I'm saying,
start
hold
off.
on. Before y'all,
I'll start.
I
I'll
was
start
glad
off because I don't know anything, and I'll let you guys talk.
All right.
I don't know.
Javon, kick it off.
I was glad I could start this off. Okay, as many of you guys probably already, as you guys already know, I'm from New York. Like New York, you know where New York is. That's the East Coast. So East Coast, we represent East Coast. West Coast, you know, they got a little something over in the West Coast, but it all happens in the East Coast. East Coast is where the big money is, where the big players are. Everybody comes to the East Coast from the West Coast. Just saying. So with that being said, are we really gonna say that Tupac's son is better than Big?
listen, I'm gonna be objective. Listen, my pick is Big, of course. My pick is Big.
Hey, thank you.
But listen, that's only because I'm going. Okay, Pac was basically a storyteller. I mean, he wasn't really too much a lyricist like Big was. Big know how to put the metaphors together, put them words together. You know, Pac told a story. You know, he told a story of
Big
what
told
he's
stories
seen,
too,
what
though.
he's been through. This, you know, and of course, Big tells stories too. But
Tupac stories were more apparent.
No, I know what you're saying.
yeah. So I'm gonna say Big just because you know, just the way his delivery, the way he delivered, and I mean, and just some of the words that he put together and the metaphors that he put together, I got to go with over Pac. But I believe that Pac's impact on the community and you know trying to promote change was bigger and would have been bigger if both were still alive.
See, you're basing on if. We're talking about
It's
what
not hypothetical. Yep.
right
Yeah,
now.
but I'm just saying.
You heard that right.
Saying. From the body of work that we've seen from both of them, Pac was more on an intellectual level than Big was.
Yeah, but think about what Big does with his music. He really stepped out of what hip hop was. He really went out there and did a bunch of stuff. Because if you listen to a lot of his songs, he mixed it up with different artists. Like he didn't keep it just hip hop. Like he brought in different people onto his songs and collabed on different songs. And that's what makes Big great. He's not of what he does in hip hop, but what he does with everything. Everything comes together. When it comes together, it's hip hop. It's everything. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Yeah, I gotta go with Big as well myself. I don't know. I've always given the edge to Big over Pac, mainly because like when I can relate and vibe to Biggie's music more than I can Pac's. You know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Pac's got some songs though that I absolutely love, like Dear Mama. Like you know, I mean that's Dear Mama. That's a beautiful song. You know, like that's just a straight up like beautiful song in general. Just so I don't know. I mean, this one's definitely tough, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Big. I mean, yeah, and I know Big wasn't the best storyteller, but he was still a storyteller.
Yeah.
And he was telling everyone else's stories. He wasn't telling his stories, but he was telling the stories of those around him and you know, growing up and what he saw and everything. So yeah, I think I gotta go with Big on this as well.
We got that's Big. The 3 for Big. So Big won that matchup.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tupac.
All right, Big won that matchup. Next, we got the Dirty South matchup. Mr. T.I. Tip, as they call him in Atlanta, and Ludacris. Who y'all got?
I guess
I got Ludacris because he's in the Fast and Furious movies.
Because of Fast and Furious movies, he said.
I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense.
I don't know if I've ever heard a song from either of them, but Ludacris is in the Fast and Furious movies, and that's like my favorite movie of all time. So
no, I feel you.
So let me ask you this: you never heard of "Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way, Get Out the Way"?
Yeah, who is that?
Okay, all right.
Is that who? Is that Ludacris?
Luda, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't even know Ludacris was a rapper until like not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Ludacris he was in so much stuff.
He's been in the game for a while. He's been in the game for a while. Yeah, he's been in the game. So who y'all got? We got Luda, and who we got? Who you got?
I'm gonna take Luda too. Just on like a sheer fact of just his level of exposure. Like he's everywhere. Like Ludacris, he's in commercials. He's everywhere. Ti has been irrelevant for a number of years now. You haven't really seen Ti much in any sort of fashion, with the exception of like the drama he had with his wife Tiny. But other than that, like Ti's really hasn't been relevant for a long time. So I just think that alone right there, just like and he's doing Luda's doing movies, TV, music. He did it all.
Yeah, I
And
doing TV too.
not to mention, he had some great hits. He had some very big hits and some great hits.
You seen ATL, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen ATL.
See, I've been into some other movies too now.
Oh yeah, no, I know Ti's acted too,
Sleep.
but
All right, Jay.
this is a hard one. This is definitely a tough one.
Jabo,
They're both great.
I'm sorry. I feel like this is a one-sided argument about T.I. versus Ludacris. I feel like it's very one-sided. I like T.I. I like Ludacris, but honestly, I'm gonna have to go with T.I. Because honestly, I don't think a lot of people put enough respect on what T.I.'s done for Atlanta. First of all, not just for his music, but for Atlanta.
Okay.
A lot of people down in Atlanta, they will tell you they will take T.I. over Ludacris. Is that let me listen. No offense to Ludacris. I like Ludacris music. Everybody loves Ludacris music, but to me, there's a certain type of low you are when you are featured on a Justin Bieber song. A lot of people don't remember this, but he was the rap part that was in Justin Bieber's Baby. That was Ludacris.
Yeah.
Not saying it's bad because it was great. It was a great verse. It was a great verse.
Yeah.
I like JB too, but however, as a rapper, as pure rap, what you've done for yourself, that's OTI. The fact that T.I.'s name is not talked about enough, it's a problem for me. So I'm gonna have to stick with T.I. right here.
I agree with you, Javo, man. It's gotta be T.I., man. I love Luda. Don't get me wrong, I love Luda. Word of Mouth was probably his best album. I remember that album. I had that album. But it got to be T.I., man. It got to be T.I., and I'm speaking as far as lyrics go also, because T.I. tells a story in his song too. As far, I think
a very good lyricist.
I think T.I. was one of the I won't say one of the first, but you remember when it used, like you were saying, Javo, it was East Coast rap and it was West Coast rap. T.I. was one of the first ones to actually, bring some pull down to the South and get some people down to the South.
I also think
that.
with T.I., to go to this point, I know I picked Luda, but to go with T.I., I think T.I. also was one of the Southern rappers that brought Southern rap out of that bubblegum rap style. Brought it to a more of like a real hip hop, real rap style. It wasn't just like bubblegum.
Because I was remember hearing him talk. I think I was watching Hip Hop Evolution, I want to say. But yeah, that's what he was saying. He was saying basically, he's so dope. He was down there, he was in the streets. That's what he talked about in his music. That's what the stories that he would tell is, the stories, what they've been through, what those guys been through and everything. So I would have to go with T.I. just off of
his struggle,
lyrics alone, style. Luda was more, I don't want to say commercial, but Luda made more like hits, like club type music for guys.
Well, they were two different style rappers.
Yeah. So I'm going with T.I. just based alone off of, because I'm a lyrics guy. I like to hear the words, what you're saying. Something. Exactly. I want to hear what you're saying in music. If you got something to say, not just rah rah rah. So
I feel you. I understand.
I would have to go with T.I. on that one. So who we got going, y'all?
It's a tiebreak right now. It's 2-2, right? So one of us have to move out the way.
So I don't know. I guess for me, like why I picked Luda is just because I was going through the whole total package. Yeah, it's like I would give T.I. the edge in the music, but outside of the music, I give it to everything else. I give to Luda. Yeah, in terms of the total package, like, yeah, I'll give T.I. the music. T.I. is definitely a better rapper musically, but overall, I just think if in this matchup, by the criteria that we're going by, I think you got to give it to Luda here.
Luda?
But what are we gonna do? We got a tie here, so how are we gonna settle this little tie? There's 4 of us.
On this one, it is. I don't see how we can.
I like Zach's relevancy statement. Luda has been relevant for like ever, you know. And granted, I mean, I can't speak for it, but like you said, apparently T.I. has a huge part in, you know, bringing hip hop to the South and really making it prominent down there. But I think as far as, you know,
We're talking about longevity, basically.
I think
Okay.
longevity is where we should aim at there.
For the tiebreaker. All right, so we're gonna give it to Luda. Luda got the tiebreaker because
I'm fine with that.
okay, yeah, that's what I said. I'm fine with that too, yeah, because Luda's going. All right, the next matchup, guys, we got DMX and Chief Keef.
All right, so
this is another tough one.
This is gonna be a statement that's probably gonna make y'all hate me, okay?
No,
and I promise that this is coming so sincere and it's not
very objective.
All right, I didn't know who DMX was until he passed away.
I mean, it makes sense.
So,
someone your age, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Especially with your age, yeah, it makes sense because he hadn't been relevant when you were growing up. So you know what I'm saying. He hasn't been relevant for a while. So I mean, makes sense. I understand.
Yeah. So that's who's he going up against?
Chief Keef.
Okay, so I know the song Love Sosa, so I'm going with Chief Keef.
You know, it's Love Sosa.
Me, I'm just going to make mine short. DMX.
Okay. That's it.
That's it. To me, I'm just gonna say this. To me, Chief Keef up against DMX is like a no contest for me.
Well, I'm gonna give you a contest, Jay. I'm gonna give you a contest right now, right? Because for me, you have to go with Chief Keef. Wanna know why? Because I've talked about this with a couple friends before. What happened?
You got to be kidding me.
Chief, no, I'm not. Hear me out. No, hear me out. Because let's be honest, DMX was great. We all know DMX, but Chief, why Chief Keef was so great? It's not just his music, but his influence.
His who?
A lot of these rappers nowadays was influenced by Chief Keef. They listen to Chief Keef like, man, Chief Keef really did something, and that's what Chief Keef brought up a lot of these rappers. He did. He helped bring up a lot of these rappers. A lot of these rappers listen today. That was all thanks to, well, not all thanks to Chief Keef. Chief Keef played a big role in that. And when we talk about DMX, we don't talk about anybody that DMX influenced. Anyone going to rapping? Who else you know is as hard as Chief Keef? Chief Keef was a hard rapper. Come on, hard. And don't forget the beef. We're not gonna forget that the beef that Chief Keef's in.
Who did he beef with?
Come on.
Who did he beef with?
I don't have to say it. You know who he beef with. Beef with his baby mama. Come on.
Zach, who you got?
All right.
Baby mama beef. Some drama he's always in. And he's still out here dropping rhymes, dropping hard raps, you know what I'm saying? And he's still influencing. Even to this day. Look, you could ask people, hey, I know Chief Keef. You know Chief? I know Chief Keef. But can you DMX, can you say, do you know who DMX is? Do you know who DMX influenced? You don't know that. But you know the case with Chief Keef, and that's why we're choosing Chief Keef right here, not DMX.
All right. Well, I think it's funny that the older dude picked DMX and the 2 younger kids picked Chief Keef. So I guess I'll start this off. I'm going to talk about both sides of this here. To Javon's point, everything that he said, is absolutely right about Keef. Keef's hugely influential on a lot of the rap music today. The dude, he was 15 years old when he came out. When he was rapping on YouTube, dropping the videos. When I Don't Like came out, that song, he was 16 years old. Like, and that was that song got remixed by Kanye. Kanye went and remixed that song. And then so I just think that, but just the fact too, I think Chief Keef as a rapper is slept on too. Because his flows are crazy, and especially for the last, like, if you've gone and listened to any Chief Keef's music in the last year and a half, he stopped mumbling. He doesn't mumble anymore. He's using, like, he's actually articulate and really like enunciating his words and everything. So yeah, I also find Chief Keef very relatable because he's a quiet person. Like, he just, like, as if you don't know, he has Asperger's, which is a form of autism, but it's a social autism. So he's not, like, he'll sit there and be silent. Like, he'll be in a room of people talking to people. Like, he said it. He's like, if I don't know you or I ain't got anything to say to you, like, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, he's like, I'll still dap you up and whatever, but I have nothing, I'm not going to say anything. That's just how he is, and that's from the Asperger's. So, I mean, this is tough because, like I said, Chief Keef, good rapper, the influence, all that. And he's only 25. Like, Chief Keef's still 25 years old right now. He's been around for 10 years. He's still doing it. He's pretty much, at this point, I consider Chief Keef retired, and he's just rapping for fun at this point, just dropping music. But DMX, man, I mean, this is hard because DMX is the only rapper with 5 number 1 albums. Like, his first 5 albums went number 1, and no rapper has done that. Jay was even jealous of that. Nas was jealous of that. Yeah. Like, that's the era he was in. He was in that Jay and Nas era, and they respected him. Yeah. I mean, they both definitely came from the streets. They definitely, both made their way. I think Chief Keef probably had a little bit more help along the way because he had the group, like the likes of like Young Chop and Lil Reese with him to kind of, give him that backing. But also, it was a different time and era back then. I mean, DMX really didn't have much. He kind of had the locks a little bit here and there. But other than that, it was mainly DMX on his own. But I just think, I don't know. I mean, not to knock DMX as a rapper either, because DMX has some great songs and some great raps. This is tough, but I really think I got to give the edge to DMX here, because DMX crawled so Chief Keef could run. It was, that's basically how it was, because when DMX came out, especially when DMX came out at that time, there was no rapper out who had the sound that DMX had. No rapper at that time had that raw, in your face, like punch you in the face, like, whoa, this dude's like, this is aggressive, No one had that during that time. DMX was really the only one that was doing that. And to your point, Yavo, since once DMX like started doing that, that's when you really started noticing more aggression in hip hop and more going to the mainstream, because now it was mainstream because they got DMX off. So in a way, he may not have known it, but he was influential in that aspect. But yeah, I think you just got to give it to, I think it's X. Like, I love Keef. I say, I'll say time and time again, Chief Keef's the GOAT, one of the GOATs. But yeah, I think you got to give the matchup to X here, just based on the 5 number 1 albums. His first 5 albums were number 1 on the charts. Like, that's that's huge. No rapper's done that before him, and no rapper's done that since. Chief Keef certainly hasn't had any number 1 albums, So yeah, I gotta give the edge to DMX here.
All right, so we got X moving on to the next round. All right. Next up, we got Tory Lanez and Mr. the Six himself, Drake.
Whoa.
All right. Well, I guess I'll start this one off then. Battle of Toronto. Both Toronto rappers, I mean, had both different upbringings. Drake started on Degrassi as an actor and kind of worked his way. I mean, Drake's music is huge. Like, it's everywhere. It's huge. He's definitely got the mainstream success as a rapper. I mean, Tory Lanez, though. Tory Lanez to me is an amazing artist. He's one of my favorite artists. so I'm gonna try to not be biased here. But so I just think Tory Lanez though, I think they come from the same city. I think he basically, like, Drake to me is just more Hollywood made, and like was, made by the music industry, put out there, like, all that, like, fully made in Hollywood. Whereas, I feel Tory Lane's a little bit more real, especially about the things that he talks about in his music. Like, it's far more believable, Tory Lane's music and his range. Tory Lane's like can rap, he can sing, he can do R&B, he can do it all, but he can actually spit too. Because if you go hear like the track "Shug" with him and Joyner, they go hard. Like, they'll speed it up. They speed it up, they slow it down. Like, it's funny too, because some of the comments on that video are like, they're like, Joyner waged a war against oxygen and all that. Like, they both, because they just didn't breathe during that. They just went hard, they went fast. So as a rapper and as an artist, I think I got to give the edge there to Tory Lanez. As a total package, I mean, it's kind of the Luda T.I. situation again. I mean, because like Drake obviously is way bigger, has the huge thing, all the hits. I mean, I'm not a huge Drake fan, but he's definitely got some songs I like. So if I'm gonna go, if I got to choose one here, just overall. Oh, and Tory Lanez owns his masters too, which is huge. Owning your masters. I gotta give the edge to Tory here. To be honest with you, I'm going Tory over Drake.
Drake was in Degrassi, and what? So what? What is the masters? What does that have to do with anything?
What, owning your masters?
No, I'm just messing with it.
Owning your masters is huge.
Drake, but like you said, Drake is. You're right about Drake. He's Hollywood made already. He's been on camera since he's been, a kid, a teenager. So I understand where you're coming from with there on that aspect, but if we're just gonna go off of music, like you said, Drake has all the records. He probably has more, sales of
he has more mainstream success
than Lanez, and I also think for me, he raps better. And I would. This is listen. I'm not talking about as far as telling the truth in his rap. I'm discluding that because Drake might be saying a whole bunch of nonsense, but his delivery and the way he is with words, you got to give it to him. He can chop them words up. He can mix those words up. He can, with the best of them. So I mean, you got to give it to him on that aspect. So if I give it to Drake just for that alone, I feel like Drake wins more categories than Tory Lanez does. I think if we're gonna go with realness and speaking the truth more in your songs, then we'll give it to Tory Lanez. But other than that, I think Drake won every other category in my opinion.
See, I just think the thing though with me about Drake is Drake doesn't write his own shit. Drake doesn't write his own music.
You're right. It's
all ghostwritten for him. Tory writes all his own stuff. Tory's, freestyling, spitting his bars off the top of his dome, writing his own tracks. Like, to me, that's a lot more.
That shouldn't break down a rapper because he don't write his own music.
Yeah, he doesn't write his own music.
Rappers don't write their own music. What's that supposed to mean?
I understand a lot of rappers don't write their own music, but that's like a fundamental part of the job.
Yeah, success is also fundamental too.
No, I get that.
Than Drake.
Delivery. I was gonna say delivery is part of
delivery
it.
Delivery and flow is definitely part of it too. Yeah. But
I think Drake has that. That delivery and flow, Drake has that. I mean, you got to give it to him. I mean, you may not, like I said, you may think he's the fakest MF in the world or whatever, but
Drake could do his thing.
Yeah, he be spitting. I gotta give it to him.
Drake will surprise you. Go to a Drake concert, Drake will surprise you.
Yeah, and he can sing on top of it.
Drake will surprise you.
He can sing,
And
they're very similar in what they do.
Through and through, Drake is a performer. He will perform.
Drake or Tory Lanez?
I don't really listen to much of Tory Lanez, but I'm gonna. Man, I don't know. I know Tory Lanez has some importance, right? But before Zach started, I was kind of thinking about how I was going to go about this. And Zach, Zach kind of shut down the point I was going to make, where I was going to say that as a very casual rap, like I'm very casual when it comes to listening to rap music. Like I'll listen to what's hot and I'll listen to who's like popular right now, but like I know Drake more than Tory Lanez, but as to Zach's point, you know, Drake is very marketed and put out there, and so I don't know. I think I'm going Drake. I listen to more Drake in my life than I have Tory Lanez music. So,
man, you guys don't really listen to music. You're just getting through it.
Started from the bottom was like the first rap song I ever downloaded. That and Country Grammar by Nelly. So those two songs were like my original like favorite two hip hop songs. So I'm gonna go Drake.
Yeah.
Nelly was an honorable mention on this too.
Yeah. Nelly.
How do you guys respect St. Louis right now?
Hey, because Country Grammar went diamond, so you gotta. I mean, you gotta give.
You did. I just think though. I think I had to do it. Like I just think, in terms of success, we had to go with the matchup of Luda T.I. I think they're two of them. The modern day like most successful Southern rappers outside of Lil Wayne, you know.
All right.
I will say I'm a little.
So Drake. So I guess Drake is moving on then.
When Drake.
I will say that Nelly is like praised around St. Louis, so like I always looked at Nelly as like a big part of the hip hop game. But I mean, he's definitely
Nelly's definitely got a. He's definitely a big part of it for sure. Like I said, he was definitely. Like I when me and Jay were making this bracket, I was like, man, there's so many. Many rappers.
He helped put the Midwest on the map. He had something to do with the Midwest getting in the mix. Now I'll tell you that he helped. All right, so we got Drake going on to the next one. All right,
so we got the next matchup. The next matchup's a banger.
This one is a good one. J.Cole.
Oh, J.Cole. We're on J.Cole. We're not on Eminem Wayne. We're on J.Cole.
That's the next one. Eminem Wayne. J.Cole
versus Joyner. This is where I can talk.
J.Cole Joyner. Go.
Oh. All right, kick us off.
Okay. So I love and respect J. Cole. J. Cole's probably one of the rappers that I listen to consistently, because one of my biggest things with rap is that all of my favorite artists are all lyricists. Like I don't spend my time. I don't spend the rap music that I listen to. I don't spend time listening to the whole like I do my drugs, I get these girls, like blah 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 blah. Like like I like the guys that like can tell a story. Like right now, like my top guy is definitely Logic.
That's why I was just hold on, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just watching a documentary on him and I was telling Zach about him when we were talking. I like Logic.
Logic's definitely my top guy right now, but Logic's also one of those guys where like his lyricism is just incredible, and that's why like I'll just say like coming up in the bracket, I think as far as rapping goes, I think Eminem. I think that's what makes you. But we'll get to that later. But anyways, I think J. Cole's an incredible lyricist, but at Joyner, like I was listening to Joyner when it was just like strictly like YouTube videos. Like, and Joyner's lyricism, in my opinion, is like super underrated. I love Joyner's music. I think as far as the brand that both of them have built at this exact moment,
they're both pretty big equally.
Yeah, but
I
would have to say J. Cole. I think J. Cole's been around a little bit longer. I think J. Cole has already put himself into the category of one of the best of the current generation. So I'm gonna it's a hard decision, but I'm gonna go J. Cole, even though I love and I praise Joyner with the music that he's done. So I'm going J. Cole.
I'm going with Cole too, also, but I agree with what he say. As far as music, listening to the rap music, I'm the same way. That's why I do not like Kodak Black. I cannot stand people that blah, 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 you don't understand what they're saying in their music. I like to hear substance in the music, like what you're talking about. You putting words together and making it rhyme, you know what I mean? Not just how much money you got or how much drugs you can sell, or you know what I'm saying? So I'm more of on that type of music as what he was saying as far as lyricists. That's what I like to listen to, is the lyricists. Joyner and Cole both are lyrically inclined to me, but I have to give the edge to Cole only because I listen to more of Cole's music than I have Joyner. And I will have to say I like Cole's music better than I like Joyner, and I think Cole flow is just a tad bit better than Joyner. I would have to give him like maybe a smidget right ahead of Joyner, so I'm taking Cole.
All right, it's on me.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is not a tough matchup. In my opinion, it's not a tough matchup because Jermaine Cole. Let's talk about the legend, Jermaine Cole.
From
I was gonna
Carolina.
not, and he probably won't ever be the greatest rapper to do it. But the thing that what makes Jermaine Cole great, you could look at different rappers and you could because you know what I see. You could look at J. Cole's performance and be like, J. Cole reminds me of him. J. Cole reminds me of this guy because a lot of people talk about it, but but if you look at how J. Cole performs, they look at Tupac. It's not. I'm not saying he mirrors Tupac. But the way he could grab a person to his music, nobody did that as good as Tupac, and J. Cole does. And J. Cole reminds me of Tupac. When I listen to Lucas, man, I don't. He's good. He's a great lyricist. I like his songs, but like Jay just said, who you listen to more? I listen to more J. Cole for a
Yeah.
reason. That's why it's just simple as that. You listen to more of who you enjoy
Yep.
listening to. That's J. Cole. Who pulls you more? J. Cole.
J. Cole, yeah.
That's that.
All right. I mean, I see where you're all coming from with J. Cole and all that. I see that. But I also noticed that you all based it on what you listen to more, and so that's a personal bias, and it's not
No, no,
following.
I
no,
did
no. Hold on,
not.
hold
That's
on.
I
not
did
following the
not base it on
criteria.
what
Hold
I based it
on.
on what I listen
Oh,
to.
right.
Hang on.
I base mine off of
Before the
the
lynch mob comes
longevity of
for
what
me, hey,
Cole's
let me
already
finish.
established.
Okay. But yeah, so I view that as a personal bias, and I'm gonna discount your votes here. And there's only one correct answer to this question and it's Joyner, hands down. Joyner has and I'm just gonna say, just go listen to the song Ross Cappuccioni by Joyner Lucas, and
It's incredible.
I
the
heard it.
story
No,
that he tells there, the story. Okay, well, first off, let me for those that don't know the story of Ross Cappuccioni. He was this guy. He ended up becoming a professional skateboarder. But when he was in his teenage years, going in high school and all that, he was living in Detroit. He ended up having this dude that he knew. They weren't like really friends, but they were acquaintances, knew each other for like over a decade, and they ended up getting closer. And the dude that he ended up getting close with ended up shooting him. Shot him in the arm with a shotgun, shot him in the chest, tried to shoot him in the head, and stole his car and left him for dead. And Ross Cappuccioni survived it by the grace of God. He survived the whole thing and then had to go through the system. So the story is like there's a video of him telling the story by himself, and it's amazing that he survived it. And he's like, I'm like amazed that I'm here. But just how Joyner's view on that, like he does both sides of he does the shooter's aspect and then the victim's aspect as well, like both sides of the story on that,
so
and he
you
does
never
it
heard J. Cole.
flawlessly.
So you never heard J. Cole stories.
I've heard J. Cole stories. No, I've definitely heard J. Cole stories. Don't get me wrong, J. Cole is a good rapper. I've heard his stories, but I don't know, man. That right there, like, I mean, there Busta Rhymes isn't giving J. Cole praise. He's giving Joyner Lucas praise. Eminem's favorite rapper isn't J. Cole. It's Joyner Lucas. I'm
Is
telling
it?
you, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper isn't J. Cole. J.
Is
Cole's
it?
favorite rapper is probably Joyner Lucas too.
No,
You
no.
know? No, that's what
Is
I'm
that bias
serious.
right
Like,
there?
Listen,
J.
lyric.
Cole's not getting props from all the greats. That's all that I'm saying.
Oh, Jay Z.
Busta's an all-time great. M's an
Jay Z.
all-time great. They're giving J. Cole. I mean, they're
Cole.
not giving Joyner props.
Jay
I gotta
Z.
give
At
the edge to
Cole.
Joyner.
Jay-Z was back in Cole when he first came out. He even had Cole on
Jay-Z's whack
his album,
too.
3.
Jay-Z's whack.
But
So I gotta give the edge to Joyner.
We gonna
I'm
get
sorry.
to that. We gonna get to that.
That's how it's all opinionated, right?
Listen. It's not a personal bias. I won't say that because, like I said, I've listened to both of them.
Yeah, but you've listened to J. Cole's music more, so you're more aware.
Only because I like Cole a smidget. As far, all right, take music aside. Take their music and move it aside. I'm judging pure off of lyricists. And Cole just got that. He just edges them, in my opinion, as far as just lyrics. Is Cole.
I definitely see where you're coming from. I just think, I don't know. I think taking J. Cole is the safe answer, and I just think that's
safe, or is it the right answer?
What? No, Joyner's the right answer. Joyner Lucas is the right answer. J. Cole's the safe answer. Just because J. Cole's
3-1, Zach. 3-1.
I know it's 3-1.
I'm not gonna, and it's not even really 3-1, right? And like, I don't listen. I actually probably listen to Joyner more than I listen to J. Cole, but I think J. Cole's built more.
Okay.
Up to this specific point. Now give it another year, 2 years. Yeah, I think Joyner is in a prime position to win this matchup. But right now.
Cole.
All right, hang on. So whatever, J. Cole won the matchup, but I'm just gonna tell you this: go on YouTube, go search Joyner Lucas, go search J. Cole. Look at whose videos who have more. Joyners are in the hundreds of thousands. Like
I'm gonna look that. Listen, I'm gonna look that up. I'm telling
you, Joyner's got more views and more plays than J. Cole.
For views.
J. Cole's just got that mainstream backing. Joyner, to me though, is
all right, guys. All
right, let's get to the next.
I'm gonna say one more thing. Right? And this is gonna be with J. Cole, right? How many albums does Joyner Lucas have right now? 1. He has one major one, right? J. Cole has, Forest Hills Drive, KOD, For Your Eyes Only. Like,
I understand that.
On Cole World.
I get that, but I just feel
that's purely the reason I choose Cole.
I feel Joyner has more versatility. If you listen to Joyner's music, J. Cole all his music kind of sounds.
It all sounds the same.
All of J. Cole's music kind of sounds the same. I'm not gonna lie, it really all does kind of sound the same. Whereas Joyner's music, Joyner has the whole series where he does the remixes, like where he gets on the popular beats and destroys them and murders them better than the people who did the song. You know, that's what I'm saying. Joyner's got that versatility, got that range.
If we're gonna talk about lyricism, there's one guy that's obviously not going to be on this list. But
we got the next matchup, which is a big one. This is a big time matchup too. It's Eminem versus Lil Wayne.
Stop. No.
Eminem.
We're not discussing this.
Listen, it's only one. Listen, no, I ain't gonna say it's not only one answer. Go ahead. Who wants to tackle this giant first?
Who wants to talk? Yeah, who wants to go first?
I'm going first. Okay. Lil Wayne has dropped some absolute gems in his music career. Absolute gems, and I love Lil Wayne for the music that he's put out. Eminem is by far one of, if not the greatest lyricist ever in rap. It is not close, in my opinion. It is Eminem, and I hate saying that because Lil Wayne's obviously an all-time great, but Eminem is by far, by pure lyricism and popularity and longevity and everything, Eminem beats out Lil Wayne in every category.
I agree with you, E, on that one. Longevity, I would have to give it to both of them because Wayne's been around for a while too. Because
Wayne's not putting out albums though.
Yeah, but you gotta remember Wayne. You gotta remember Wayne started out when he was what, 15?
15, yeah, 14,
so
14, 15, something like that.
He has longevity too, but there's never been a white boy as bad as that motherfucker Eminem. Like, I'm sorry, there would never be another Eminem ever. Nope. Yellow Wolf, Logic. I like Logic. I learned like I want to hear more of Logic because that was I didn't even know who Logic was. My oldest son.
Let me put you on Logic. I
Okay.
got you
All
some
right.
songs
All
that I'm
right.
gonna send you.
But anyways, yeah, Eminem. I mean, he just destroys a beat. Like you put him on any beat and he will kill it. And I know everybody watched 8 Mile. He's a battle rapper too. So I mean, if you want to battle him, he can battle you. I mean, if you want to go in the studio, Eminem to me is like kind of almost in a category of his own
Yeah,
because
I can see that.
Yeah.
it's like even the greats, Jay, you ask even Wayne, and you ask Nas, do you want to go up against Eminem, battle Eminem? And they will probably tell you no.
I watched an
I can,
interview. I watched an interview with Eminem, and the way his mind works when it comes to rhyming words that rhyme on paper, the way that he describes his thought process is just like he's a genius. Like
yeah,
I couldn't even
yeah,
fathom the way the man thinks about rhyming words.
yeah,
It's
yeah. And I love
yeah.
Wayne. Listen, don't get me wrong. I love Wayne. I mean, Wayne has gotten better since he was 15. Wayne has gotten to the point to where he can freestyle a whole song. He can freestyle an album. So I got to give it to Wayne. Wayne is a lyricist too. I mean, his underground albums, his the dedication. I mean, that you
That's
put on
actually, hang on, the Dedication mixtape series. That's actually one of the few things that Lil Wayne wrote himself.
yeah,
That
yeah,
fit because a lot of Lil Wayne's music is ghost written, but the
yeah,
Dedication series, all those
yeah.
Dedication albums, he actually wrote all of those himself.
I will say this. You're right. A lot of his stuff is ghost written, but the Carter one wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Gilly the Kid ghost
Oh
wrote
yeah, yeah, you're right. My bad.
everything
My
for
bad. My
Wayne from
bad.
up to the
My
Carter
bad. You're
2.
right. You're right. Not all the songs. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. But yeah, you're right, Gilly. But yeah, it's M. I mean, you can't. M to me is up there with. You can arguably say M is top three. You could put M in top three, and I mean, you can't argue that because he's a bad boy. So I'm giving it to M just because. I mean, I don't see how you can't give it to M.
All right, Javon, you want to voice your opinion here before I end this matchup?
Sure. I will. I would love to. Well, let's talk about my man Lil Wayne. Let's talk about Lil Wayne, right? Sure, maybe he's not as good of a lyricist as Eminem. Who is? There's a lot of people that's not great lyricists compared to Eminem. Eminem is in his zone. When we
Yeah.
talk about Lil Wayne has probably one of the, like you said, Lil Wayne styles a lot of his songs. He does. And then the thing about Lil Wayne is his punchlines. A lot of people don't talk about, but Lil Wayne has probably one of the best punchlines in the game.
Yeah.
Like, sure, nobody wants to battle Eminem, but you battle Lil Wayne, it's not going to be good for you either.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's gonna come with his bars. He gonna freestyle you to death. Then he gonna punch you out, and that's what Lil Wayne does. Lil Wayne's just great at what he does. No ifs ands or buts about it. Lil Wayne is great.
You think
However,
Lil
with all that
Wayne's
being,
you think Lil Wayne's a better freestyle than Eminem?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
See,
think
that's
so.
what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right,
You
all
didn't hear
right.
me
I
out. You didn't hear me
mean,
out. Hold on.
I gotta go.
Eminem. It's Eminem.
It's
We're
M.
talking about the throne right here. Eminem is always in everybody's top 5, top
Absolutely.
3. Lil Wayne he's never in that conversation for a reason. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne's not. If one person in the conversation and one person isn't in it, then it's easier to say who's better. Because we know where one person drops off compared to the other.
So you're picking him?
I'm picking up.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I think we're all in consensus here.
Okay.
Because I'm picking M too. To me, especially towards the back half of Lil Wayne's career, I feel a lot of his music and a lot of his success he was just a punchline rapper. He didn't have any sustenance in his raps. It was all punchlines. It was punchline after punchline after punchline after punchline after punchline after punchline. And it's like, yeah, that's cool.
So you got to do it more. You got to do it a lot.
Yeah, you know, but he just there was no sustenance to what Wayne was saying. I mean, and that's like that's why I gotta give it, like, I don't know, just I mean, I think you can't. I don't think Lil Wayne can hold a candle to Eminem as an artist. I mean, like, you all brought up great points. I mean, to Jay's point that no one really wants to ever battle M. You don't ever, like, he's probably the most feared rapper in the game. Like, from that aspect of it, it's just like, no one wants to go rap battle M because they know he'll get destroyed. I mean, hell, he destroyed Jay-Z on Jay-Z's own track on Renegades. M had the way better verse. M killed that track. Jay held his own on that, but by far you could tell who the better rapper and artist was just by listening to that track. You could tell it was M, you know? So that alone was, you know, I don't know. I just think that, and then I think you also don't see Wayne doing things like the Shady Cypher, you know, all that, like what M did with the Donald Trump thing at the BET Awards, where he was a cappella and he spit that, you know, you don't see Wayne doing that. Wayne doesn't have, that's next level shit. Like,
I was gonna say M is also a good producer too. So
yes, he is. He is. Like, but that's just like that ability that M has, where you can just rap like a cappella, no beat. You know, that Donald Trump thing. Like, if you go listen to that, like that's
a rare skill for a lot of rappers. A lot of rappers, they can't do that.
They can't. They can't. And that's what I'm saying. Wayne can't do that. So you got to give the edge to M here. By far.
All right. So M moves on. Next,
there's another
Kanye West versus Kendrick Lamar.
I don't. This is another one.
I'm gonna be quick. I'm gonna be quick with mine on this one. I like Kendrick. I think his wordplay, he puts together words nicely too. But Kanye, as far as rapping, producing for others and writing for others, I got to give it to Kanye. If we're going to talk about all the categories, I think Kanye wins more categories to me than Lamar. That I'm going with Kanye.
I'm gonna say one word because I love them both, but graduation.
Yeah.
Lamar will never have an album as big as Graduation.
Yeah.
And for that simple fact, dude, I listened to Graduation.
And that wasn't even Kanye's biggest album.
Wasn't.
I know. And I think Kanye too. And don't get me wrong, Kendrick Lamar is an incredible. This goes back to my lyricist thing, right? So it's hard for me to go against Lamar because Lamar is obviously an incredible lyricist, but I think Kanye, as far as, you know, just pure
he's underrated
and producing and all that, I think it's Kanye.
Yeah, he's an underrated lyricist, by the way.
Yeah,
he's underrated.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. All right, Javon. So who are you taking, Kanye or Kendrick?
Oh, man, let's really. I'm gonna keep this very simple.
Kendrick.
No. Of course, I'm not going Kendrick. Well, I'm not that stupid. Come on. But let's keep it very simple. Look at what Kanye brought to the rap game.
Yeah.
Auto-tune. He made auto-tune legit. He made electric hip hop legit. He did a lot of things for the game. A lot of people like Drake, mumble rap. Kanye did that. That was all Kanye. Yeah. Drake. That was Kanye. You think Drake would have been Drake without Kanye? No. And look how you just talked about how great Drake is. Most of that credit has to go to Kanye because Drake literally said Kanye influenced him. Who hasn't been influenced? A lot of rappers nowadays, especially, have been influenced by Kanye West. Because Kanye West brought the idea of, a rapper producer. What be producing like Kanye?
The early 90s, not early 90s, that early 2000s, he was like 90% of hip hop music that you was hearing.
Exactly.
90% of music. There was a time.
Yeah, 90%.
There was a time when about a good 90% of the hip hop that you heard went through Kanye West in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to find out if this song's legit, they go, "Hey, Kanye, is this how? What do you think this song the J?" And Kanye's word means a lot of stuff in the industry.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar, he's great. We all love Kendrick Lamar, but however, you can't take away what Kanye has done. Kanye's bigger, better. Everything that Kanye's done has just been top tier.
Yeah.
He's
for sure.
He's a hands down automatic legend. And I would never sit here and say Kendrick Lamar is better than Kanye. Never. Maybe that's true, but not seriously.
So I'm just gonna take the J route and keep this short and just say one word: Kanye to the. Kanye to the. Like I'm sorry, you can't. It's just Kanye.
Kanye, yes sir. All right, this is gonna be a good one.
This is gonna be good.
I'm going no, Zach, you're going last on this one. You're gonna break the tie.
Okay.
Javon's gonna make me go up against my boy.
I'm not gonna make you do anything.
Jay-Z versus Nas.
I'm not gonna make you do anything. I'm not gonna make you do anything.
What you got for me, Jay?
No, you go first.
What you got for me, Javo?
No, go first on this. I'm gonna get it. I need to hear it.
I mean, I'm okay. I'm a Jay fan, all the way. Like, I mean, my favorite album is Blueprint 2. I've been a Jay fan since I can remember. So I mean, and even when they were battling, Nas and Jay was battling, I was, back in the day, I was Jay. Like, I didn't even want to hear nothing Nas had to say. But and to put this another thing in perspective too, to let everybody know how big of a Jay fan I am. All of my kids, every last one of them, name their first three letters J-A-Y. So that just lets you know how big of a Jay fan I am. Anyways, but as I got older, now I've been listening to some Nas lately, but as I got older and I started listening to actually listening more to the music than I already had. I always listen to it, but as you get older, you hear more, you listen more and the words better, But anyways, I don't know, man. It's close. I mean, I don't know if it's Jay like it used to be, because Nas just the way Nas put together words. I mean, I'm scared. I'm nervous to say it, but I think he got Jay as far as we want to talk about lyrics. I think he got Jay with just lyrics. I think he got him. Like I got to give it to Nas. He got him as far as lyrics. But if we're gonna talk about a mogul, a business guy, a billionaire, a guy that knows how to stretch his money, flip his money, and run a business, then and as far as longevity too, and Jay, Jay got away with words too. I'm not gonna say because Jay got a flow too. Jay can flow. He freestyles his songs. You even heard Kanye say, Kanye say Jay go in the studio 5 minutes and create a whole song in 5 minutes. So, that just lets you know how great Jay is. But I'm gonna take Nas because I know you're gonna take Jay, and I want Zach to break the tie. Go ahead.
You want Zach to go over and break the tie right here?
No, you go. I want Zach.
We know you're taking Jay, but say why.
Okay. Well, I had to, before I start. Let me ask you a quick question. Who did Jay sign? Who did Jay-Z sign to Def Jam? Who did Jay-Z sign to Def Jam?
Hold on. Before we even who did he sign to Def Jam? Nas?
It was Nas.
No, yes, I know.
But do you know why he signed Nas to Def Jam?
Thank you. Ask him.
Do you know why he did that?
Who signed Nas?
Because he recognized the skill.
He knew Nas's greatness and was like, "Fuck! If this dude's not on my team, he's gonna surpass me."
Okay,
and it was Jay's way of keeping Nas down.
Hold on, Jabba.
That's why Jay signed Nas. It was a ploy. Jay's cerebral like that. Look, I will give Jay that. Trust me, because especially if you go watch the DMX documentary, there's a lot of Jay-Z in that because Jay-Z and X had a lot of ties together, especially coming up because they came up together. And you see it. Jay's very, very controlling about his business, very cerebral, very about, no, I'm going to keep the other rappers down so that I get all the shine. And that's an aspect of Jay-Z that I didn't like, because I'm like, nah, it's not about you, bro. It's about everyone. It's about the game.
Yeah.
You know, get up, you know, one of you shines, you all shine, you know? And that's what I didn't like about it's the dark side of Jay-Z that I don't think people realize. Like, he's I don't know. But just musically as a whole, I agree. I got to go with Jay's point here, where, like, as when you're younger, you dig that Jay-Z music, but as you get older in life, you kind of realize that, wait, Nas is really saying stuff here, you know? And also, I mean, if you go listen to Nas, go listen to every song on, you know, Illmatic to Stillmatic. That's 8 albums. Every song on those albums is a banger. There's not one bad song on those albums. The storytelling ability of Nas, everyone knows, is next level. Plus, Nas did all this with a 10th grade education. Like, he dropped out his sophomore year of high school because he was like, school can't teach me anything, you know? And he dropped out and he did all this with a 10th grade education. I mean, like, that's pretty huge. Yeah, obviously, as you can tell, I'm going nuts.
And Nas killed him. Ether, I don't care how many diss tracks Jay came out with, all Nas needed was Ether.
Yeah, Ether was better than the diss track, both diss tracks that Jay came at Nas with. Ether,
like I said,
Ether claimed him.
Jay fan. I'm a Jay
fan. There's also an interesting story about Nas when he was out in the West Coast, and Tupac, when Nas was like in the 90s, Tupac and Nas, they were around at the same time, and Tupac recognized him, went up and was like, yo, Nas, you know, what up? Like, you know, kind of tried to check Nas a little bit, because he knew he was like the East Coast dude. And Nas just kind of like looked at him, kept it slight, kept it hush, you know, just said very few words, and then just walked away. And Tupac goes back to his boys and he's like, yo, I just punked him out. And his boys were like, no, he let you live. Because his boys were behind, Tupac's boys were behind him, and were savvy enough to know that Nas had people all around that were ready to, Nas had his shooters there. Like, they were ready. He was like, nah, Nas let you live, bro. Like, it wasn't, you didn't punk Nas out. He was like, Nas let you live. Like, Jay, you know, that's just that story right there. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a whole different side of Nas that we didn't know existed, because you don't really see the gangster side of Nas, but it's there, you know. And I just think, though, as a whole, musically too, like, you don't hear Nas putting out songs like Big Pimpin', you know. Big Pimpin' is solely to sell records. That's a mainstream. That's a pop song. That's what that is. You know, you don't hear Nas doing that stuff. You know, Nas is very creative. You know, he did the, you know, I know I am what I want to be.
Hey,
you know.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you this: after going back and listening to Illmatic, It Was Written, Nostradamus,
hip hop's dead.
Jay copied a lot. Jay, I won't say copied. He likes to say sampled it. Like he said, I sampled your voice. You was using it wrong. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot line. Yeah, but listen, he was sampling. I use his words. He was sampling a lot of Nas. A lot.
Yep.
A lot.
And that's
a lot.
Let's go back to my question. Who signed Nas to Def Jam?
Yes, but I told you the reason why he signed it.
You didn't even hear my argument yet.
It's not to give him, though. It wasn't to give. It was a ploy for Jay-Z to keep Nas down. Right. It wasn't to give Nas a deal. It was to scoop him up before any record label did, so Jay-Z can control him and keep him down.
And he did the same. And like I said, I like Jay.
That's a big part of what that beef was about.
He did the same thing to Kanye.
He did the same thing to Kanye. He did the same thing to DMX. He did the same thing to everyone that he signs.
Yeah.
He keeps them down so that they don't take the shine from him. Like, that's the thing I don't like about Jay, and that's why I'm like, he's whack for that. Because if you're actually a good rapper, if you're actually good, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You know, it'll speak for yourself. Like, no, that means he's scared. That means Jay's scared.
Beanie Siegel talking about Jay Dark Side, but that's for another day.
You guys got to hear my argument first before.
All right.
Got to hear my argument. Let's take their strongest albums, best albums, right? Illmatic, Stillmatic, Hip Hop's Not Dead, right? That's all for Nas. What Jay-Z got? Jay-Z got Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint, I've got what's the other one? Oh my gosh,
Reasonable Doubt, In My Lifetimes, Volume
Black,
1,
Black Album.
Life and Times of Sean Carter.
Now hear me out. Hear me out. Which albums I'm taking every single time? Nas. Like, come on. You guys actually could say think I will talk about Jay-Z, Jay better than Nas. Come on.
So we're all on Nas then?
I'm not gonna say I love Jay-Z, but it's different when Jay-Z's from where I am. That's different from me. However, we talk about Nas here. Nas, everything Nas does in terms of rapping is better. Jay-Z is he's more business than he is rap.
Yeah.
And like you said, Jay-Z has a lot of this dark stuff about Jay-Z, what he does, where he takes rappers and he brings them down, put them under his name. So everything that they get or they produce is all because
he gets a piece of what they do.
That's what Jay-Z does for a lot of rappers, and I understand that. But Nas was big before Jay-Z. Nas was everything before Jay-Z. A lot of people forget that, but Nas was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jay-Z can never produce Nas. Is what I'm saying. Jay-Z can never produce Nas.
All I'm gonna say is New York State of Mind, like that entire album by Nas, is better than Jay's entire discography.
Now listen. Now to Jay's defense. Hold on. To Jay's defense, the first blueprint, the blueprint 1, that was a masterpiece. That was a masterpiece.
It was. That definitely was.
That
was also. You know who that was produced by too?
Kanye.
It's produced by Kanye.
Kanye, right? Yeah.
I also think that's another thing too.
Knows. But Nas is a better rapper. Nas is a better everything in terms of rapping. The rap game, that's all Nas.
So who we got? Nas winning that one?
Yeah, no, of course.
It was unanimous for Nas, yeah.
I want to argue for Jay-Z. Nas is clear cut better.
All right, so Nas won.
I thought it was going to be.
All right, so now we got Nas in the Elite 8. We got Nas versus Kanye. We got M versus Cole. We got Drake versus DMX, and we got Luda versus Big. Luda Big.
All right. Well, if Luda Big, it's Biggie.
Is that easy? I told you.
That's easy.
I mean, we probably this round might. I was gonna say this round might be the quickest because
it's not even a round.
It's not close.
This is a box round. This is a walkthrough.
Yeah, we all on Biggie. All right. So what about DMX and Drake?
I'm gonna let the kids start this one off.
All right.
I'm gonna let the kids start this one off.
I'm going back to my past argument.
Yeah.
I'm going back to my past argument. I had no idea who DMX was until he passed away. I'm going Drake. That's my only argument. I can't say anything else. I'm not going to act like I know what this conversation's going to be. That's why I'm going to sit here silent. I don't even know who DMX was till he died. I know who Drake is. There you go.
All right. DMX versus Drake, all right? Man, listen. I love Drake. Drake is, to me, at least in my generation, Drake is everything, right? However, we're talking about a rapper in his purest form. You could take a lot away from Drake, but you can't take away anything from DMX. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we sat here and talked about, DMX has a story. How he got to where he is nothing compared to what is Drake has nothing compared to what DMX had to do to get to where he was. It's not even on the same level. The lyrics, the rap, the story is nothing. Drake has nothing that DMX can't do or already done. Only thing that Drake does better is that he's more than a rapper. That's the only thing that Drake has over DMX. He's more than a rapper. Drake is a rapper.
DMX is more than a rapper too, though. DMX has been in a lot of movies.
But he's not. But in terms of rapping, that's all DMX. That's
absolutely.
So we got X.
Yeah.
And we got everybody on X.
Yeah, I'm on X. To me, this isn't even close. Like,
I'll go X, but I'll go X just because I maybe I'm just not educated enough on X. So I'll say
yeah.
that.
I mean, yeah, I gotta go with DMX on the sheer fact alone that if we were to pick Drake, he would come kill all of us and Drake. So I'm going with DMX.
I don't know, man, because Drake. So you think X was bigger in his day than Drake is in his day?
But are we arguing about who's bigger, or are we arguing about who's a better rapper? Because that's
Well,
two different.
we're trying to fit like everything, like the totality of it all, like who kind of wins more.
I mean, because DMX was in tons of movies too.
No. You're right.
He was in
Belly. Drake will never be in the movie better than Belly.
No, exactly. I just feel to me, yeah, like it's not even just the rapping. It's a lot like what Javon said. Like, you know, Drake grew up in the fucking suburbs. Like, was a child actor. Kind of had a silver spoon in his mouth the whole time. His whole life. Like, never really struggled for much. Never really had to do anything. DMX like built himself from the ground up and kind of made it up. Like, kind of when he first got to the rap, like made it big in the rap game. He was almost 30.
Yeah.
He was like 20, 29, like almost 30 by the time his first album came out and all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me too, I got to give it to X because when you hear that opening to Rough Riders anthem, everyone that's around you, knows exactly what it is, and they all go stop, drop, open up shop.
Hey,
there ain't no Drake songs that are like that.
Basketball team, that's what we used to come out to. That song. That's what
I'm saying. There are no Drake
DMX?
songs that have that impact that everyone knows. Like right when you hear it, and you sing along, and you're like, bam! Like, and you can be in a room, and everyone will know that. Stop. Drop,
shut them down, also, open up shop.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Have you ever heard DMX do Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
No.
You should go. Yeah, you should YouTube after this. It's like a 1.5-minute video, but YouTube DMX doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay.
It's the most DMX rendition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer ever because he does his own ad-libs in it. So he's like, what? Come on. Like doing all the DMX stuff. Yeah, it is great. It's absolutely great though. Like, and it's just because you wouldn't expect it. And from the stories that I've if you go watch the Breakfast Club interviews with DMX, like the stories that man tells, man, that man had a wild life. Like that man's doing some stuff. Drake ain't pulling people over in his car, pretending to be a cop. That story. So real quick, X told the story of how he was late for a flight and he got the police lights installed on his truck, on his Escalade, so that he could clear traffic and get to places faster. Well, he was like, the one day I did that and this one asshole wouldn't get out of my way. He's like, so he pulled the dude over, gets out, and he's like, I'm a cop. And he's like, and the guy was not respecting DMX at all. And DMX even said that in the story. He's like, he wasn't respecting my authority. He's like, not like I had any, but he wasn't respecting my authority, and it's just shit like that. And then like you hear stories like Jet Li talks about when they were doing Cradle to the Grave, he's like they'd be sitting there, in the dressing rooms, and X would be like, yo, Jet, you want to go fly helicopters? And they go to the store, go get remote control helicopters and go out and fly fucking remote control helicopters for like 4 hours. Like, I think that aspect of it too, like that's a side to me that I like, because like it's just DMX is a regular ass dude,
Yeah.
Whereas, Drake is, I don't feel Drake is approachable. I don't feel like you could see Drake on the street.
Like Jay-Z. I will put Drake in the category like Jay-Z.
Yeah. They're not approachable, Yeah. Like, you're not going to be able to have a conversation with them. But I feel like you could go hang out. You could like see DMX on the street and end up like hanging out with DMX for the rest of the day,
Yeah.
Like, so
okay.
Yeah. But and even musically, I got to give it to DMX. Like,
so X and Biggie is in the final four.
That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a good matchup.
Is it? Good for who? I know it's gonna be good for me.
Oh, next we got Cole and M.
All right, I'm just gonna let's skip through all the bullshit, all the crap. Let's go all that. Let's just say Eminem and move on, okay?
I agree. I agree. Cole,
Good. Nobody disrespects J. Cole, but
he just ain't
you
no
can't
M.
top, you can't top
Hey,
King. You
like
can't.
I like to say, it's levels to this shit,
Yep.
and hey, he
And,
ain't on that level.
okay, okay.
I don't hear J. Cole putting out putting out a Slim Shady LP, something like
Yeah,
that. You know, a
yeah,
Marshall Mathers LP.
yeah.
J. Cole
Me
ain't
either.
putting that
Yeah.
out. Like
All
M's
right.
story level, like yeah, they're both storytellers. Just real quick, but like those two albums alone, his storytelling, like yes, a lot of it's graphic, but it's a very real and
Nope.
story, and like his storytelling ability is actually next level if you really go listen to those and
And
how
and
he's able to portray what's going on there. So
and
yeah, M's moving on.
yeah, and to continue on with those two albums, those were M. Like those were M.
Yeah,
After that,
that's the Eminem that I know is
yeah.
the Slim
After
Shady
that,
LP
he
and the
kind of
Marshall
went,
Mathers LP.
he kind of went commercial. But those first two albums, that's Eminem. That is
That
M.
I mean,
Right there.
he had the Eminem show too, which was good because that had a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, yeah. But I'm talking about as far as that, no commercialness to it, just great grind. That's M right there.
yeah. That's the epitome of M.
Yeah.
When I when I bring like younger people who haven't heard M to like who haven't like they listen to all the stuff that you've heard in the last 10 years from M, and I'm like that's not Eminem. I'm like that's not Eminem. I'm like I don't know who that is, but that's not Eminem.
Hey, Rock Bottom. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I'm like, no, go. I tell them, I'm like, go listen to the Slim Shady LP. Go listen to Marshall Mathers LP. Go listen to him talk about doing drugs. Fucking
Crazy shit. Hey,
his
Eminem.
mother.
I'm gonna tell you why motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you why motherfuckers don't want to battle M. Cause M is not afraid to talk shit about his damn self.
Yep. M will talk shit about himself. Yep.
He'll talk shit about himself just to talk shit about you. Yeah. All right. So M moving on. All right. Nas and Kanye.
Ooh, that's like a tough one.
Woo!
I gotta think about this one. Anybody got words? I gotta think.
Nas.
You gotta go Nas.
I'm gonna go. Listen, after watching that documentary, I gotta say this about Kanye. After watching that documentary about Kanye, um, I found a new respect for him. I really have. But up against Nas, I just think that I gotta give it to Nas for the fact that he's more lyrical. And if you actually listen to what Nas be saying, Nas be on some like like us type banding together coming up type stuff. If you really listen to what he's saying, like
Yeah.
he don't be on that every like killing gang violence and people killing people in the hood and stuff. He be really on like people in the hood banding together and
Yeah.
trying to come up. You know what I mean? Like come up together. Like you help me instead of us fighting and killing each other, we need to get together and figure out a way to come up. Basically, that's the message that he be trying to, send out, and I kind of like that about Nas. So with that, I will have to give the edge to Nas. Although Kanye is close, it's close because Kanye in his own he's up there. He's up there for everything that he's done for, all the music that he's been part of. So, I mean, it's close, but my kicker on this one, my tiebreaker on this one is gonna be the lyrics. So what y'all got?
Javon, you want to take this one?
Man, oh man, I don't like this conversation. I like both artists through and through. But honestly, I have to give it to Nas. I really do because thing about Kanye is who do I like? The way I'm looking at it, who do I listen to from top to bottom, beginning to end. And as of for Kanye, as of I don't know 2018, 2017, Kanye, I haven't been the biggest fan of Kanye. So that to me, that puts things in perspective of, but as of what Nas was doing from where he started before he died, I will listen to Nas. I will bump Nas no matter what. No Nas, I got Nas. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you log on when you open up your phone, you go. Let me bump up a song real quick. Let me bump a playlist real quick. It's always Nas for me. And with Kanye is most of Kanye's recent work is just it's not my taste. It's not my cup of tea. And I'm not saying I blame down Kanye, but I'm saying in terms of who really gonna relate to. I relate to Nas more than I do to Kanye, and that's the biggest thing, relatability. A lot of rappers, a lot of lyrics, this like the storytelling, the story you tell. That's what brings in a lot of people. And for me, Nas brings me in more than Kanye because I could sit here and relate to what Nas had to say about the streets, about everything that Nas gone through. But Kanye is more of, especially nowadays, it's more of just I don't even know what to say about Kanye now.
Kanye, I gotta give it to Kanye. When his mom died, he kind of lost it. He's still. I see now. If you watch the documentary, like now he's trying to fight back. I feel like everything that he kind of lost during that time, I think he's trying to come back from being lost, and I think the media made him to be out to be more crazy than what he really is. Because if you actually look at Kanye and listen to Kanye, like Kanye's not a stupid man at all. He's not dumb at all. He's not crazy. So I think now he's trying to come back from everything that he's been through and maybe kind of right the wrong, kind of sort of.
I can see that. I can see that.
All right. Well, I was hoping to be the tiebreak vote here, but I guess I got 3 words to say for this matchup, and that's hate me now. You can hate me now if you get that. It's Nas. It's a Nas
You
reference.
can hate me now.
Yep.
But I won't stop now.
Oh yeah. I gotta go with. I mean, they're both. Look, they're both like musically. They're both in their own right, and for what they do, they're both musical geniuses.
Yeah.
They're both geniuses in their own right, just outside of music too. And I mean, like I said, Kanye's got lots of great albums. Like Graduation. Someone brought up Graduation. I was like, that's not even Kanye's best album.
Yeah.
I figured he was gonna say like 808 or 808s and Heartbreaks. That's an underrated. No, that's a really underrated Kanye West album.
I was gonna say
that album. That's an extremely underrated Kanye West album. And if you fuck with Kid Cudi at all, he credits that album a lot for like his style, where he got his style of rapping and all that. Because Kid Cudi's a huge Kanye West fan.
Yeah.
Like Kanye was his idol and all that, and it shows. You can definitely see Kanye's influence in Kid Cudi, for sure. Like you can definitely see that influence of it. And then when they get together, I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm going Nas. Kanye has versatility. I'm going to talk about Kanye a little bit just to give it up, but then I'm going to talk about Nas too. Kanye's got, versatility. His music, he can do, slower tracks. He can do that aggressive, fast rap. He can do melodic rap, Kanye can do it all. Same with Nas. So, but man, I mean, Nas is just on another level.
He is,
right?
man. He is.
He really is. Just as a whole, he's just on another level compared to other rappers out there. Like, I think there's only one rapper that can hold the candle to Nas. I mean, I think that very similar to Nas's style, and they're going to be the matchup in the next round. So that'll be an interesting one. But yeah,
Final 4.
I gotta go Nas. Yep. So Final 4.
Final 4. We got.
It's gonna be good.
The B.I.G. We got DMX. We got Eminem. And we got Nasir Jones. Woo! Biggie and DMX. We're going with the first matchup.
Easy.
I don't think it's as easy as you think, but you want to go first then, since you say it's easy?
It's clear cut. To me, it's clear cut.
Who's
Who's the legend? Who's the legend here? Who's more legendary? Who's more known? Who's the bigger name?
They're both pretty legendary. They're both equally big names.
Who has the most?
And I have to.
Listen. Let me drop you a little fact right here.
Hold on, before you go. The way I break.
I'm just dropping one fact.
Okay.
Nas said Biggie did it the best. That's all. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. He didn't say DMX. He said Nas. I mean, he said.
This is when the way I do my tiebreakers in these is, like I said, is my preference, and that's lyric. And when it comes down to it, can you spit? Are you spitting? How nasty is your flow? And DMX, in his own right, he was a better storyteller than he could put words together. That's what I'll say. He didn't have the metaphors, the punchlines, or nothing like that. But he could tell us. He would tell a story in his raps, and you can relate. You know, sometimes you can relate to those stories in his raps. But the way Big mixes those words and metaphors and those punchlines together, it's like it's crazy, man. And my tiebreaker is always, X got all these records. X probably has more records sold, more albums, only because Big wasn't alive. But
yeah,
if we had Big been alive, oh man, Big would be so big, right? Big would probably.
We don't know that.
No, this is what I was saying.
That's a hypothetical.
Who knows?
Who knows about right. And real quick, like me and you were talking about. I don't feel like Big. I feel like Big, and like I said, Big and Pac, the type of personalities they were more of the DMXs, the who are you talking about? What we're talking about, just more down to earth. Those are the type of guys I think Big and Pac would have been. So the more down to earth type of guys don't actually blow up, and I mean they blow up, but they don't jump to that next echelon like Jay. And you know what I'm saying? Whereas Jay has that dark side behind him. I don't feel like Big and Tupac did, but I think it's big. It's big. It's big.
It's Biggie.
Like, go here. You want me to finish off real quick?
It's big.
All right. I'm gonna go. I guess I'll take
down
this
to the socks,
and then Javon can go and be the. We'll let Javon be the tiebreaker this time. So I'm taking X here.
Go ahead.
I gotta give it to DMX because just talking about you were right. Like DMX tells a story. He's not great at putting his words together, but his flows, his delivery, his storytelling, Biggie's the better storyteller, but as far as the actual aspect of the craft of rap with flows and delivery, DMX has him. DMX has Biggie on those. I gotta say, because DMX slept on as a rapper. And more so to your point, down to earth people. You're talking about that. DMX is one of the most down to earth rappers ever. He always was. The only reason DMX didn't reach Nas, Biggie, Jay-Z level fame is because of his drug habit and all of that. And that's what brought him down because people around him, the execs were like, oh no, we don't want that, and then it would he wouldn't show up to stuff because of the drugs and all that, So that was his biggest downfall. But honestly, if I got to say it, DMX is by far bigger, would have been, is bigger, probably would have been bigger than Big. Even if Big was still alive, just because, like I said, X was in movies, X was everywhere. There was a point in time where DMX was the biggest rapper in the world. There was never a point in time where Biggie was the biggest rapper in the world. Because there was always Tupac with Biggie, there was always Dre, there was always NWA. That no, DMX was during his prime was the biggest rapper in the world. So that's why I got to give it to DMX, man. That's why I got to give it to X.
John, what you got?
See, I like that. that DMX was the biggest, probably the biggest rapper of his time. But at the same time, when you don't have names like Tupac, NWA go up against you, can you really blame him? He's
Yeah,
old.
Jay. He was going up against Jay and Nas in that era of hip hop. Are you kidding me? There were names, but yeah, no, that
Those names were
DMX was
Tupac.
around with.
None of those names were Tupac. And let me tell you something about Biggie. Biggie could collab with any artist, and what Biggie would do, he will rap on your flow, and his flow will be better than your whatever you're doing. Biggie will do it better. That's how Biggie was. He was probably the greatest rapper when it comes to his flow. His flow was one of the best, if not the best flows. You know what I'm saying? He could tell. He has the lyrics. He could tell a story.
What are you talking about? His flow is the best flow. He kept basically the same flow the whole time. That's what I'm saying.
He switched up his flow.
He would switch it up from time to time, but DMX would switch up his flow a lot more. There's other rappers that switch up their flow a lot more than Biggie did. Biggie kept the general same flow the whole time. That low, that easy, chillax, chilled out flow. He kept that. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm like, that's where Biggie lacks. To me, that's the part that Biggie lacks in, is the flow aspect of it. He's got the storytelling, he's got the lyrics, but it's the delivery of it. It's the flow of it that I'm like, with Biggie. Look, I love Biggie. I do. I love Biggie's music. I'd take Biggie over Pac any day. And then when everyone's like Biggie or Pac, I'm like, Big, hands down, bar none. But I'm sorry, I've got to give it to X here. I've got to give it to X.
All you need to know is Coogee down to the socks.
Like I'm Biggie Papa, baby.
Remember what Biggie said this? Remember this is one of the best quotes I ever heard from Biggie. Ain't no other kings in this rap name. Let me know, who else have you heard been called the king of something in rap?
Well, you can't just call yourself the king and be the king.
He's the only one who done it for a reason, and he's the only one who's done it to this day for a reason.
He's called himself the king?
He is.
What are you talking about? Wayne calls himself the greatest rapper alive all the time.
Since the best rapper retired.
Sorry, yeah, since the best rapper retired. Talking about Jay. He's talking about there's tons of rappers that call themselves the greatest rapper of all, greatest rapper ever. Everyone does that.
Do they crown themselves? They never crowned themselves. Biggie crowned himself. Everybody crowns Biggie. And when people say Biggie, oh, you talk about King of New York, you talk about the King of hip hop, people say that for Biggie. I don't hear nobody say that for DMX. All I hear is DMX is great, DMX is amazing, DMX is good, but I don't hear nobody calling DMX a king.
Jay, let me ask you this. Not Jay, Javon, how much of DMX's music have you listened to and actually listened to? What's the extent of your DMX knowledge on his music?
I listen to every single big album. I haven't listened to everything that DMX put out there.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, I want you after this. I want you to go listen to as much DMX as possible, and don't go listen to the mainstream stuff. Go listen to We Right Here, We Right Here. We ain't going anywhere.
Hey, he don't know nothing about that.
That's what I'm saying. We right here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go listen to X's music, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna see everything that you said about Big. You're gonna be like, wait, X just did that, but better. I'm sorry. I think you're both wrong here. I really think
man. It's big. Listen. X, I've heard both. I was a fan of both. I've heard all of X. I've heard all of Biggie. Biggie got it. As for Biggie got it, man. Biggie, in a freestyle battle, Biggie would destroy DMX. Destroy him. So that's what we're gonna leave that one. We're gonna put Biggie in the championship. And we're gonna go to
M versus Nas.
And Nas.
I don't even talk about that.
Who want to tackle this giant first? I don't even know where to start.
I'm good.
Because
I'm good.
Both
I already said everything out of me. I'm good. I don't know. I'm gonna go for Nas. I don't know where to go for Nas. I don't know.
Both of them, I will say this. M will edge Nas. M will edge Nas in a battle rap. I think. Oh my god. This is my three. This is my three. No. This is my two and my three of all time. I mean my 3-4 of all time. No, 4-5 of all time. This is my 4-5, and I always flip flop them like depending on how I'm feeling. So it's hard. Zach, what you got?
I can make me go first on this.
Yeah, what you got?
Oh man, this is tough because
This is probably this probably should have been the championship.
no, because this is still next to Big is in his own right. He's gonna hold his own against whoever advances on. Don't worry, but he this could have been a championship matchup too.
Yeah, I was
for
gonna say,
sure.
These
this
two
definitely
guys
could have
right
been a championship matchup.
mean,
I think there's so many similarities between the two of them.
Yes.
On the style, like the styles, the flow, everything. This is so.
It's tough, man.
See, because like UJ, like you're like they're my 4, my 2 and 4, my 2 and 3, or my 2 and 4 or whatever. Yeah, they're my.
Yeah.
I got them right behind each other too, like M and Nas. It's like they're right
depending
there.
on the day. Depending on the day, one flip is flip flop. Depending on the day. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go Nas only because lately I've went back and I've been listening to a lot of Nas lately. So I'm only gonna say Nas for that reason. But had I been listening to Shady lately, it would have been Shady probably.
No, I feel you.
Cause I mean, M, like I said, there would never be another Eminem. I don't care what white boy you want, what white boy you want to bring on, he can't touch M. And if you think about since M has came out and as many white rappers that have tried to come behind him, nobody has came close.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, I would hate to be any white rapper that comes out after Eminem, because Eminem set the bar so high
to the moon
for white rappers that you can't even you can't reach that bar. You're like, you can't even reach that. Like, oh, this is so tough. So you want what? You want Nas?
I went Nas.
You said Nas.
But like I said, I mean, only because, like I said, I've been listening to Nas lately. I've been jamming Nas lately.
Okay, I guess this is tough for me too. I guess for me though, I don't know. I mean, I will say this: Jay-Z had the lyric, "Who's the best? Pac, Nas, or Big? Ain't no best, East, west, north, south, yeah. So it's just like, but M to me, okay. So we want to talk about what Tupac and Biggie would have become. Mm-hmm. M to me is what Tupac would have been. Eminem is hugely influenced by Tupac. Like, and he said that, he's even said that in his lyrics, He's a huge Tupac fan. He loves Tupac. You can hear the Tupac influence in his music too. They both their styles were very similar. I think M was a better storyteller, better rapper as a whole than Tupac, but I think that's kind of what you would have seen from Tupac, as would have been like, something like that. But as far as this matchup, I gotta go. It's so tough because I grew up listening to both, and they're two of my favorite rappers.
Me too.
But I gotta go. To me, I just gotta go with Nas on the fact that that, like I said, I know we brought it up before, but there's a good stretch of albums. I think it was like between Illmatic and Stillmatic. I don't know if it's 8 albums.
Listen,
I don't know if it's 8 albums or if it's 6 albums.
From Illmatic to Stillmatic was all classics.
And every song was a classic. Like, So I don't know I know it was like I think it was 6 albums or 8 albums that those were between that he
How
put
many
out.
was Javo? You said?
I said no skips. I said no skips.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah, no
skips.
No,
No
skips.
skips.
Yeah,
No
but
skips.
I think it was like 6 or 8 albums between those two, between Illmatic and Stillmatic,
Well,
which
I
is a
know
lot of work.
it was
And that's to me,
Illmatic.
that's gonna give the edge to Nas because M didn't have a stretch like that in his
Yeah.
career where he had albums that they were just like Javo said, no skips. Like
Yeah.
every song was an absolute banger. He
Yeah.
didn't skip it, no, like hardly any rappers have ever had that, you know.
Play. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta go with Nas here.
Yeah. It was Illmatic. It was written.
Yep.
Nostradamus. I am,
Yep.
and then I think it was. I want to say I'm missing one, but then it was Stillmatic after I am. But I'm thinking
It
I'm
was,
missing one.
yeah, it might have been 5. There might have been 5, but
Yeah.
still, that's still
Yeah.
impressive. Like
Yeah.
if
Oh yeah.
that's 5 full albums of
And Jay, and let me tell you like this: Jay might not admit it. He probably admitted behind off camera, but that ether almost ended. He talking about he almost ended Nas' career. That ether gave him that was a haymaker blow that knocked him to his knees.
yeah, it was. That
That was
ether,
a
that shit
haymaker
that
to
make your
his
soul
career.
burn slow.
That was a haymaker to his career. Seriously, like he had to regroup after that. Like I said, I was a
Yeah.
Jay fan, but he had to regroup because if you heard, like everybody was nobody said Jay won that battle. Nobody that I know said Jay won that battle. Everybody said it was Nas. So his career, man, it was he had to regroup. He had to step back and be like, yo, whoa, man, this dude right here, yeah. So Nas, he's a bad. Hey, Nas is bad.
That's a bad
He
dude.
bad, man.
All right, Javon.
I don't have to be tiebreaker here because I think you guys rate that both said Nas, so you nothing I can say for Eminem. But nothing I would say for Eminem because when I think about Nas, when I think about Eminem, like you guys said everything else. But the thing that to me that really stands up between Nas and Eminem is their albums. Like we were just talking about how the stretch of Nas albums is great. Like five to six albums, and you're still that great. Your albums are still that great. It's impressive. But the thing about what holds back Eminem greatness to me is the fact that he can go out there and put out an album that good. Like not even say a good album, but more of like how fast he can put out an album. His Eminem is like nothing's wrong with Eminem where he puts an album. It's the composing his albums takes too long.
I get you. I get what you're saying.
You kind of lose a lot of people, so it's kind of like people think he dropped out of the game a bit because I know a lot of people are saying while waiting for one of Eminem's albums, he dropped out of the game. Maybe he's not rapping anymore, all that different stuff about Eminem. While Nas, we all know he's still there.
And then he came back with the Recovery.
Yeah.
And that album, that Recovery, he came back. But yeah, all right. So we got Nas.
I don't like this.
In the championship versus the B.I.G.
Notorious.
The Notorious Big.
Notorious.
The championship. Who's taking it, y'all? Who's taking it?
All right. I guess I'll tackle this giant first. I'm gonna give the belt to Nasir Jones. I think just like we've already said pretty much everything we can say about each of these guys, but I think if you look at what we've said about Nas, like to me, that's all of that's greater than Biggie. Biggie was great in his own right. Don't get me wrong, and I love Big, but it's just like I got to give it to Nas, man, because he was as a rapper too. Like as a rapper, Big isn't on Nas's level. Big's here, Nas is here as a rapper. Like
oh no,
the Biggie don't have Nas's vocabulary.
I'm gonna break the tie though, because I know Java. I know who you gonna play.
Biggie doesn't have Nas's vocabulary, so I'm gonna take that.
All
so
right,
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet.
Let me break this tie. Go ahead, Java.
Okay. Man.
Brooklyn is Brooklyn versus Queens.
Y'all know I want to say Biggie Smalls. Y'all know this. But what is the question here? What's the question here between Nas and Biggie? Who's what?
It's who's winning. It's
Who's giving you the champ? Who are you giving the
who you
championship
giving the
belt
championship to?
Man, oh my gosh. The problem I have about Nas compared to Biggie is
He from Queens.
No, that's not it. But it's the fact that honestly, if I'm thinking about it, for me, the only reason why because I think Nas, I think in terms of head-to-head matchup, Nas is right there with Biggie. Like I know I've said Biggie is the king of hip hop. I know I said Biggie is the GOAT, but at the end of the day, look at what Nas done with his career. Because the fact that he had a longer career than Biggie due to unfortunate circumstances, but that's not Biggie's fault. But the fact that Nas' career has turned out to be this great, even after his death, it's just you can't take anything away from Nas. If you want to talk about Nas had to be put in the conversation of is Nas the best rapper of all time. There's a lot of people that will go out here and on camera and off camera and say Nas is probably better than Biggie, Tupac, all those guys. But the reason why I'm putting Biggie over Nas is just for the simple fact is for me, and it took Nas a little long to reach that status. Whereas Biggie in his shortened career was achieved that status quick. So
I think there's I don't know. I don't think that could be a determining factor because I think there's a lot of factors that go into that situation. Like, for example, Biggie was a Bad Boy Records, like instanced boom. Like, yeah, they were able to give him the mainstream. Nas kind of had to, kind of get his footing a little bit. Like, that's what I'm saying. But still, I just think it's different situations. Like Biggie, boom, Bad Boy. Like they can instantly give him the exposure, give him the publicity because Bad Boy was the hottest record label at that time. That's what I'm saying. So I think that I don't think you can use that as a deciding factor because I just think that's you got to account the situation. Biggie had the platform to be more successful during that short period of time because he was on he had the major label backing, and Nas was also more successful before Biggie was. Nas has been around for a long time. He's been rapping for a long time. Like
that's my point. That is my point to this.
Nas was around did it before Big. Like was
this Nas kid, he's really up there.
Yeah, like trust me, like they were rapping, and yeah, Biggie may have gotten big, but Nas got bigger.
I'm gonna tell you like this: not if we asked, I believe if we asked all the rappers, Nas would be up there. I'm gonna tell you that if we was to actually ask all the rappers, because I've heard Nas' name mentioned a lot. As far as one of the rappers that is basically like up there in all-time greatness. Like he's mentioned.
Yeah, I know tons of people. I know a lot of people that say Nas is, the best rapper of all time.
Yes, me too. For me, this is a tough one too. Because I love Big. My wife's from Brooklyn. BK, son. Because I don't care what you say, Zach. Biggie flow. Biggie had flow. I'm gonna go with Nas just strictly, and I hate to do this because, like you say, Big is the king of New York. You probably ask anybody, they will say Big is the king of New York over Nas. But man, I watch guys like Q-Tip and a lot of them guys up there from Queens and Brooklyn, like give Nas so much credit. Like I've never seen any of those guys like diss Nas on anything.
Yeah, he's another rapper that you don't feud with.
Yeah, and exactly. I've never exactly.
Jay learned that the hard way.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with
You already said you're going with Nas.
I'm gonna go with Nas, and I'm gonna tell you why. Strictly
Yeah.
because of I'm gonna say his words.
Yeah, his
His
vocabulary.
his intellect is so it's
It's
like
stupid.
you
It's stupid.
like he was saying about how in mind works. It's like the way his mind works, the way his intellect and the way the words and the things he be saying. Like I said, if you listen to him what he's saying in his rap, he is talking about, like I said, he is not for violence and you know what I'm saying, and everybody, these gangs in the hood just killing each other. He is for everybody. Listen to the last album, this Magic album that he got, the last one. That's what he talk about. He's talking about bringing each other up out of poverty instead of everybody digging. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't like you. It's like we beefing, but we're in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta band together to reach where we want, where everybody trying to get to. And the only way to do it is if we work together. If we going against each other, we can't do it. We're not gonna never come up. We're gonna always live in poverty and things if we keep going against each other. So I like his message that he sends, the delivery of it, and the man just the vocabulary is just sick, man. It's sick. Like I said, I went back. Illmatic, you can run straight through. It was written, you can run straight through. Nostradamus, you can run straight through. Illmatic, you're running straight through, like no skips. And I'm serious.
yeah.
Magic, this last album, because I even posted it on Facebook. I was like, who pissed Nas off? Because when I heard the album, I'm like, he really came with it. Like he just is nasty. If you haven't heard it, that album is
That's why they
nasty. It
call
don't
him
have the
Nasty Nas.
like you. The youth today probably won't jam to it or probably won't get jiggy with it because it's not the catchy beats. It's not the catchy beats that you want to hear, the club beats that you want to hear. But the way he raps over the beat makes the beat to me. He makes the beat to me. Like he makes those little, those horns and all. He makes that. He makes it just
Oh
by
yeah.
he delivers the rap, man. And yeah, I gotta go with Nas, man.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't. Hey, just the one of your points where you said it's because Nas is from Queens. Nas is actually in fact from Crown Heights.
He what?
He grew up in Queens, but he's from Crown Heights.
Oh yeah.
So I'm from Crown Heights too. So it hurts me when I have to say Big over Nas. But it's yeah, man. But I love them both. I love them both.
Yeah. Now, so we got Nas winning the championship, but that's very ironic. You know why? Because I actually was gonna go Jay, but like I said, as I kept listening to Nas, as I went through the Illmatic without skips, as I went through it was written without skips, I'm like, I'm not skipping the song. Like every song I'm jamming to.
I even told him too. Yeah, when we were doing this, I even told him I was like, "You and Javon." I was like, "We can just put Jay-Z in the finals. I know you and Javon are gonna fucking push him through, so it won't matter. If we do
No,
three
man, I had to
push-ups,
be.
like Jay.
I'm a objective person. Like I said, growing up, it was Jay. Like I said, growing up, it was Jay. But as you get older and as you realize different things, as you hear,
Real
you know what I'm saying?
moral
Because you
about
hear,
life.
and you also that too, and you also hear music differently when you get older than when you were
Yeah.
young. You know what I mean? So yeah, Nas is I've gained a whole new respect for Nas that I didn't have way back that I do now. Like that man's the truth. That man's the truth. And if you haven't seen that documentary too, it's called Rapture
He's
with
on
Nas.
where?
It's on Netflix. Rapture. It's called Rapture. That's a good one.
Oh wait, that document that has Nas in it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't because I heard about it, but I didn't know.
He talk about he just talk about him growing up and he talk about when Ill Will died and everything. Yeah. Yes, sir. I've been
That's dope.
watching a lot of documentaries, man, a lot of them. So That's how I found out about the guy Logic. I didn't know anything about Logic. The only thing I heard about Logic was my son said one day, he was like, "Dad, you know who Logic is?" And I was like, "No, son, I don't know who Logic is." And then that was it. Until I seen that video,
Documentary.
that documentary. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Well, that was quite the episode we had for him.
Almost 3 hours. I think this is our longest recorded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just over 2 hours. Yeah, but it was well worth it. So I hope it was entertaining for the audience.
Yes, sir.
As always, to you
Let
and
us know who y'all.
Dynasty show.
Let us
Talk
know.
more than sports.
Go ahead, Jay.
Nah,
Y'all.
I'm saying we can talk more than sports.
Any oh, yeah, we talk about it all.
Man.
We want y'all to comment and let us know if y'all think we got it right. Also, if we got the championship right with Nas, y'all let us know who y'all think should have won the championship. Hit us up. We're on Twitter, Facebook. No, not Facebook. Instagram,
Instagram.
Twitter, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. Hit the like button, comment.
Leave
Hit
us
us
a
up,
review.
guys.
Let us know what we can do better. Let us know what you want to hear about. What do you want to talk about? We'll talk about it.
Oh yeah.
All right. We out. The Dynasty Show.
Dynasty show signing off.
Tell me that you're rushing, that I'm urgent, that you care.